I love wrestling. If I'm being honest with you, it's one of my favorite things in the world. Not only do I watch AEW every Wednesday and Saturday, I'm also a huge fan of watching old matches. Grew up on WWF. I have a belt hanging on my wall. In fact, I'm going to see Blood and Honey Wrestling tomorrow night, so I love wrestling, and I thought it would be the perfect backdrop for a short film. That's why Scarlet Moreno and I went and made Little Lucha and the Big Deal. Not only was it the perfect chance for us to tell an underdog story, to kind of emotionally show how we feel right now as artists, it also was a great excuse to just get in the ring, get tossed around, have fun, and use some of the inspiration that we've got from wrestlers throughout the year. So I wanted to take this opportunity to sit down with Scarlet and talk about our top favorite wrestlers of all time.
I'm a vintage classic leaning gal. So my favorite wrestler is Ric Flair. I based a lot of the Big Deal's costuming on that person, on his persona. I also am super interested in him. The person becomes the character. The person creates an identity. And like Ric Flair was adopted. He's got like a very interesting past, but he created this identity of Ric Flair that is so big and so loud and so like in your face that it was almost like you couldn't get through that barrier to get to like who Ric Flair might really be. And I think that's purposeful and also subconscious. So,
well, brother, keep right on dreaming.
He's one of my faves because of that.
I'm gonna piss everyone off right off the bat. MJF. Everyone hates MJF. That's why he rules. He has lived a life of wrestling since he was a child on the Rosie O'Donnell show, talking about how he was gonna be a professional wrestler.
You don't become an opera singer when you grow up? What are you gonna be besides an opera singer?
Well, I'm gonna be a opera singer and a wrestler.
A wrestler?
Protects kayfabe like no one else, talking about matches. He's talking about them in the most sincere, honest, truthful way of his character, while also being able to disconnect. You can see that he disconnects in his personal life, but never allows us into that. I find that to be just a fascinating way, and doesn't mind the hate. He's a real heel.
Newsflash, you pencil neck geeks! If I wanted to hear your opinions, I would turn on TLC and watch reruns of my 600-pound life, so shut up!
A beautiful heel who understands wrestling like no one else. There's just something about every time he steps into the ring I love.
But anybody see me get pinned out there? Just quick, show of hands. Oh, that's right, I didn't, because I'm still undefeated, asshole.
Another big fave, more aesthetically, which is Macho Man. I actually had the pleasure of an in-person sighting in the early 2000s. My family took a vacation to LA, and my little brother and I found him at a Johnny Rockets. But there's a story about him that I kind of identify with. I think he called the Hulk.
Cars everywhere. Hey, would you ever sell me the black Lambo? Looks like Don Johnson's.
And he's like, I just got a Ferrari, but my hat box doesn't fit in the trunk, so I'm returning.
I want my money back. My hat wouldn't fit in the car. I'm like, are you kidding? He was dead serious.
Like his cowboy hat box didn't fit, and he was like, fuck this, my cowboy hats come first.
Ooh, yeah!
And I like very personally identify with that fashion over function situation.
My favorite wrestler of all time is Mick Foley. Mick Foley brought chaotic sloppiness and character-driven style to wrestling that at the time was very needed, but he created these personas that to me were pure art. And I remember just watching him as a kid, and this is creativity, this is chaos, this is what it should be, on top of taking greatest bumps that ever happened in wrestling.
Oh my God!
He was the first one to do that. There's something about the guys who do something for the first time. It's like watching Tony Hawk do the 900 for the first time, and you're like, it is possible. You can do that.
You took everything I believed in and you flushed it down the damn toilet.
Great promo. You okay?
He's someone who's willing to have the guts to do those things. Really hits home to me.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It's Austin!
Is a big fave. Not just because of his like wrestling career, which is like incredible, and his persona, but living on a ranch, he's got his 2 cats, and he just like hangs out with his cats and his horses, and he's like living this gorgeous, ideal Texas life. And I think that he's kind of the epitome of just like a lovely dude who found success.
You gonna leave me again, you little fucker?
And is also like his persona is Stone Cold.
This is really hard. I had Macho Man on my list, but since we did Macho Man, I gotta go with another new guy, man. Kenny Omega has not been around for 60 years. Like, he's not like a classic wrestler by any means. He's very modern, has done a ton of stuff outside of the United States, and brings other art forms into his style in a way that, like, he brings movie art, video game art, music in a different way than anyone else has. He's not afraid to be a nerd while also being Kenny Omega. He's an amazing wrestler who has done stuff in so many realms. So I gotta give a shout to Kenny Omega.
Omega considered the best catch-as-catch-can, the chain wrestling, scientific wrestling, the best in pro wrestling, period.
He's absolutely changed modern wrestling. One of the coolest dudes out there.
Obviously, wrestling still, it's an art form that's stood the test of time so far, and I believe will just keep going and keep evolving. I think wrestlers and wrestling are these larger-than-life people. We kind of get to like imagine are real and not necessarily characters. I feel like that is so interesting as an artist to just like examine and make art about. And so I feel like we're seeing kind of a golden age of wrestling content. I know that sounds silly, but like there is so much cool film and documentary and shows. We want to see these people. We want to see them succeed. We want to see them fail. We want to see these larger than life characters. And I think we got a little bit of that with Little Lucha and The Big Deal.
And I'm so proud to have been able to get in the ring and mess around with actual wrestlers, and you and I were able to be a part of it, even in a small way. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to do all the things, like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments your favorite wrestlers, because I always love to hear about the professional wrestlers who inspire other people out there, especially some of those underserved. Who was your favorite wrestler growing up, and who are you most excited to watch right now every week? Whether you're watching WWE, AEW, or any of the other promos, who are your favorite wrestlers out there? All right, until next time, keep kicking ass, keep doing what you do, don't let your meatloaf, and stay rebellious. Cheers.